Hey everyone, and welcome to my very first video about our brand new 2021 Tesla Model 3. Now in this video, we're going to go over 40 small details we've been loving about the car. And these are details that you really only start to notice once you're using it as your daily driver. We've owned this car for just over a month now, and it still feels like every day we're learning new things. So without further ado, let's get stuck into it, starting with number one. So number one is the calendar integration. Now, if you're someone like myself that loves using the calendar, you're adding events all the time, putting in locations, it means that when you get into the Tesla, it's automatically synced your calendar and it's going to start automatically directing you to your next appointment. Number two is the high-grade HEPA filter that comes with most Teslas. Now, this is a filter that they use on airplanes. It's great at removing any odor, bacteria, any viruses. So as long as your climate control is turned on and you've got the outside air coming into the car, that HEPA filter is going to be doing a pretty amazing job of keeping the cabin air at a really high quality. Number three is that the door handles are completely flush with the side of the car. Admittedly, on first use, it's a little bit challenging, but once you get used to it, like we have now, we've come to really love the design of the door handles. They're obviously very aerodynamic, they're super cool, but they're very easy to use. Number four is that the navigation will automatically add in charging stops for you. So when you're going on a long road trip, it's going to plan it out with the charging stops on the way. Super helpful. It's also going to do a preparation of the battery for supercharging, which means that when you do get to the charging station, it's going to be a much faster rate of charge. Number five is the double glazing. Now, all Teslas come with double glazing in their windows, and what this means is that there's significantly less road noise. It also keeps the cabin space a lot quieter, and we think this is most noticeable when you're actually parked sitting in maybe a busy street inside the car. Number six is the frunk. Now this is something we've been loving. We've been using this a lot more than we expected. If you've got muddy shoes, hot takeaway food, wet things, the frunk is a really great space because it's weatherproof and it's quite small and compact. So I guess at first glance we thought we're not really going to use that, but we've been using it almost more than the boot. Number seven is romance mode. Now this is a pretty cool feature that brings up a cozy warm fireplace, has the crackling sound coming out of the speakers. It turns on all the heaters in the car and the heated seats. It does get very hot very quickly, but it is a cool feature to show friends and family. And on occasion, you can use it to warm yourself up if you're in some very cold weather. Number eight is the storage inside the cabin. Now, because this car has no gearbox or transmission down that center console, it's left you with a heap of space that you can use for storing all sorts of things. Number nine is that Siri can actually unlock your car as well as do some other basic functions. This is a really awesome feature if you're a fan of using Siri, as well as like sort of checking the battery percentage of the car. It means you don't have to open the Tesla app, it's all integrated through with Siri.
The charge for your vehicle is at 74%. You should be good for about 312 kilometers.
Number 10 is that you can select the climate to stay on in the car when you leave. You can also do this using the Tesla app. Say if you want to schedule your car to warm up in the mornings for you, it will turn on the climate control automatically. So as soon as you get into your car, it's nice and toasty. Number 11 is no more petrol stations. No more fumes, no more standing by the car, waiting to fill up, going in to pay. No more checking petrol prices. Number 12 is the all-glass roof design. It lets in a heap of natural light as well as some strong UV protection so you don't get too hot. Number 13 is that there's no gears in this car, so that means that it's super smooth, and I think most noticeably is when you put your foot down, you're going to get that instant torque. Number 14 is the button to exit the car. Now all the doors have this little button on there. There's no handle, no need to pull any door handles. The door will just slightly pop open for you and it makes it really easy. Number 15 is the handling. Now, because this car has such a low center of gravity thanks to that heavy battery pack sitting in the base of the car, when you're going around corners, you're going to feel the car really stick to the road. Number 16 is using the Tesla app, you can give someone remote access to your car temporarily. So let's say you want to get your parents to move the car out of the driveway, you want to get a friend to go and pick something up, you can literally start the car for them using the app, which gives them limited ability to use the car, but also a very handy feature. Number 17 is the regen braking. Now what that means is that we've hardly had to use the brake pedal. As soon as you take your foot off the accelerator, the car automatically starts braking for you. You also get this slim little regen bar that sits at the top of the interface, and it shows you green is obviously when the car's using regen and black is when it's using battery power. Number 18 is using the YouTube app built into the Tesla. You can actually go in and subscribe to your favorite channels on YouTube so you don't miss any new awesome Tesla videos. Number 19 is you can open and close the boot using the Tesla app. Now this is something that comes really handy when you're bringing in a big load of groceries. You come back upstairs, you just want to close the boot, you can just do that using the Tesla app, super convenient. Number 20 is easy entry mode, making it easier to get in and out of the car. It's automatically going to move the seat back, bring the steering wheel up to just make that entry access a lot easier. It also then assigns to, let's say I get in the car with my phone, automatically gonna then pull the seat back into my favorite driver profile. Number 21 are the arcade games that are built into the car, and you can even use the steering wheel to control the buggy car in this particular game. So much fun when you're waiting to pick someone up or you just want to show off some of the cool features in the car. Number 22 is that you can share directions from your phone to your car. So as soon as you hop into your car, they're pre-populated, ready to go. This is something you can do using iPhone and Android. Number 23 is the massive reverse camera you get in this car thanks to that huge touchscreen. As soon as you put the car in reverse, you're gonna get that rear view as well as the left and right side views. Now, when you think about this compared to conventional cars, this has a massive point of difference because it is unusual for a reversing camera to be this large. Number 24 is you can vent the windows in the car using the Tesla app. Super convenient for hot days when you just want to bring a bit of airflow through before you get back to the car. Number 25 is that charging your car outside of your home is mostly free. This is not something that we realize, but pretty much all destination charges, at least here in Australia, seem to be at no cost. So if you're checking into a hotel, you're going to a restaurant, you're going to a venue that has a destination charger, very unlikely that you're going to be charged at all. And with Tesla Superchargers, if you've had a referral code when you've purchased your car, you're going to get a certain amount of free kilometers, which we haven't come close to even using. So if you are interested in buying a Tesla, I'll link my referral code below so you can add those free kilometers, which in turn will also give me free kilometers as well. Number 26 is dog mode. Now this is a brilliant feature that if you're going to leave your dogs in the car, you can set the climate to stay on at the right temperature, as well as bring up this nice big display that tells anyone walking past that the dogs are safe and that the temperature in the car is at a good level. Now, we've got two big greyhounds. Unfortunately, they're not allowed in the Tesla, given that we're trying to keep it nice and clean. But if they were allowed in it, this is something that we would use all of the time. Number 27 is that this car has no key. It completely uses your phone to unlock and lock. It's as simple as just walking up to the car or leaving the car. You don't have to touch anything. Now this is a feature that we had heard about but did not appreciate just how convenient and awesome it is. So as soon as you step out of that Bluetooth radius of the car, automatically going to lock, and vice versa when you come back in. Number 28 is that there's no start button in this car, which threw me off the first time I drove this car, because you essentially are like, how do I turn it on? The car is essentially always on and ready to go. As soon as you get into the car, all you have to do, put it in drive and you're on your way, which means that there's no off button either. So when it comes to putting the car in park, all you have to do is get out. Number 29 is that you can watch Netflix and YouTube while eating your lunch in the car. This is something we've done on the rare occasion. Careful not to spill anything, but it feels pretty incredible to have such a big touchscreen and a sound system playing content while you're sitting there comfortably in the car eating. Number 30 is just how excited people get by this car. People are just fascinated by how they work, how you charge them. So it brings this real interest around the car, which is really exciting. And also just driving it around the streets, it gets a lot more attention than we were expecting to. This is a car that I think interests a lot of people, and a lot of people have their eye out for them. Number 31 is that the speed limit automatically adjusts when using autopilot. So if you're in a 70 zone, you go into a 60 zone, the cameras will actually read the speed sign and automatically adjust the speed. This is very convenient. Not something I was expecting the car to do, but it does it. Number 32 is that the headlights are quite amazing at night. Now, we did some country driving a few weeks ago for the first time. We got to test out the high beams. The lights are incredible. Number 33 is that there's no fumes. So when you're reversing the car into the garage, it's unusual, but we're so used to being at the tail end of a car and sort of getting that awful smell of fumes and even some smoke, but it's just so clean. Number 34 is the Google Maps integration into that giant touchscreen. Love to use Google Maps all the time, so to have that built into the car just means we don't have to really touch our phones. We just do it all through the interface, knowing that you're getting live traffic updates and the most reliable mapping system. Number 35 that caught us by surprise is the acceleration in this car. Now, we just have the standard range model, so we weren't expecting it to be just as fast as it really is, but when you put your foot down, that G-force, it throws you to the back of the seat. It's super fun. Number 36 is that the voice assistant built into the car is actually pretty useful. We often find ourselves asking the car to direct us to the nearest charging stations or opening the butthole, which will open up the charging point on the side of your car. Number 37 is driving in traffic is made easy with the use of autopilot. So the car will automatically keep the perfect distance and speed, making you feel safe and stress-free when you're stuck in the middle of a traffic jam. Number 38 is the minimal interior design. You've just got this massive touchscreen. There's no ugly aircon vents. It's really minimalistic, simple, clean, and it makes being inside the cabin a really wonderful space. The other thing that's quite bizarre is when you're driving at night, you're so used to having instruments behind the steering wheel, like your speedometer and your rev meter, but there's nothing there. It's just darkness. The only thing in the car is that touchscreen. Number 39 is that you can change the drive settings of the car to roll like a conventional car would. So when you take your foot off the accelerator, it's going to continue rolling, as opposed to when you've got that regen turned on, the car will come to a complete stop so you don't have to use the brake pedal. Now, what I find so cool about that is it's such a fundamental difference in the way that you drive the car that you can just go into the settings and change something like that is pretty cool. So everyone's gonna have their preference, but obviously for regen, we like to keep it on that super strong setting. And last but not least, number 40 is Sentry Mode. Sentry Mode uses all of the cameras to monitor for any motion, record any events where people or cars might get too close. This is great for insurance purposes. And fun fact, our insurance was about $300 cheaper for our brand new Tesla than it is for our 2014 Mazda. So that sums up 40 of those small details that we've been loving about the car. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are or what any of your favorite features might be if you're currently driving a Tesla. I hope you guys love the video. Please subscribe. We've got plenty of awesome videos on their way in the coming weeks. And I'll also link to a podcast episode I did with ex-race car driver Paul Baker about his transition from a Nissan Leaf to a Tesla Model 3.